it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. 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 I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. Feel my heart, it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. 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 I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall.
Or inside here, you get an insight and you know something, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you. But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Break down. never from esports, trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a wall. White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga before he's hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace. All right, welcome back, everyone, here to CGO, where we're going to wrap up your Sunday night here with an amazing NA Diamond Tier Series. As the number 4 overall BGSU or Bowling Green State University Falcons will be going up against the UTD, or I believe it's University of Texas at Dallas, Celestial squad. My name is Dextron. That is Too Tryhard Ray. Ray, man, me and you are in these playoffs. We've already won our games. More surprising in my part about that. You, not so much as you were expected to. But we've seen what this Diamond Tier can offer, and these are 2 really good teams.
Yeah, Diamond Tier has been one of the most talkative ones and have been, I mean, crazy games. I mean, you guys upsetting in your game was pretty insane, so who knows what's going to happen in these other matches. And the best part about this one, it's a good old collegiate matchup between 2 different colleges, so that makes things always interesting. And this was the 2 closest seeds to each other relative, like this is the 4 and the 6 seed. No other matchup was that close in seeding, so it makes things that much more exciting.
Yeah, but when you go back and look at these 2 teams in the regular season, it was actually that 6-seeded team of UTD Celestial winning it 3-1 in that matchup there. So Bowling Green looking to bounce back, get some revenge against them, even though they're the higher seed, Ray. You have to look at that previous match. I don't remember what week it was, but I do remember that UTD did come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, it makes things, you know, a nice wrinkle things, because I will say BGSU has been one of those teams who will, I mean, again, they're the 4 seed for a reason, but they also just, there was a point where Emerald Eagles was on the climb and they were just doing good, and everyone's like, wow, look at Emerald Eagles. And then BGSU comes in and 3-1s them. So it's like, BGSU has had pop-off moments. They're the 4 seed. I would not underestimate them, but I think it's going to be a really good match as UTD Celestial started out with a really tough schedule, 0-3, but have really come back to form since then.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of the bracket here. Why don't we show you the bracket here for the NA Diamond Tier? Like I already said, Ray's team on Drop the Guns won their game against Cuddle Puddle. My team in the Zebras had a reverse sweep against the EIG Assassins to win that one and advance into the 2nd round. I know a lot of people who are doing predictions that were not happy about us winning. But, I mean, still, you have BGSU going up against UTD right now. A little bit later tonight, actually in like 20 minutes, Virtuous Pronouns will be going, I believe it's actually Virtuous Pronouns Academy, will be going up against Emerald Eagles in that matchup. So by the end of the night, we will know the 2nd round and lower round 1 here for this Diamond Tier.
Yeah, that's going to make everything nice. I mean, all the games are due tonight, so I would hope that we know all the matches. If you have not scheduled your match, it needs to have been scheduled already. Like, I'd be shocked if we didn't have any matches that weren't scheduled. But yeah, all the matches for losers and winners round 2 will be revealed after tonight as a VP and Emerald Eagles start in about 20 minutes. So that makes everything that much more exciting as we'll know exactly who's playing who, you know, what the elimination games are, because we're going to start having that next week. And then, you know, it's just going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting down into the thick of it now, especially in a lot of tiers here. I mean, by the end of next week, we'll know our winners final and we will know the losers round 2. And hell, we'll probably be done with losers round 2 by next week if I remember how it goes here sometimes. But I mean, hey, a lot of good games here tonight, especially in Diamond here, but there are a lot of other games going on as well. We won't be able to keep you updated on those. If you want to keep updated on those yourself, go check out the CGL website. I don't think we shout that out enough. There's a CGL website that keeps up with every team and all their standings there. However, let's focus back in on our game here tonight. We know what our first map of the night is going to be here. And I mean, with it being in the map pool, oh wow, it's actually Samoa. I was going to just say, with it being in the map pool, it's most likely Lijiang, but Samoa is a fun map, Ray.
Oh, I kid you not, Joker. I was just talking. I mean, Dex, sorry.
Don't worry,
I was just talking. I was just talking with someone about this the other day, and I was like, low key, my Samoa stocks and like how I rank the control maps, it's rising and rising. I'm actually a big fan of this map. I think it's in my top 3 at this point for control maps. And BGSU has been known to be pretty good on this map from the codes that I look at. I watch all the codes every week. So to me, it's not that shocking that we're getting Samoa, but it's also a shock just not to see Lijiang.
Yeah, like I said, if Lijiang and its counterpart in hybrid King's Roar in the map pool, I always expect to see them be picked no matter what. So Samoa coming out here is a big surprise, but not one that I'm against here. Again, I honestly love seeing teams go away from the maps we see almost every series. Samoa is a fun one. Like you said, it might not be in the top 3 for me, but it's definitely a map that has a couple unique or it has points where you can bring out unique play styles, which makes it very, very interesting to watch.
Couldn't agree with you more. I feel like it just lends itself to, especially the map you could see like in the little like preview overlay on that beachside map. That one can be very interesting for what different kinds of compositions you can see. So I cannot wait to see what we get.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but moving on away from the map right now, let's get into the bans for these two teams. First up, it will be UTD Celestial banning this one out. And actually, interesting strategy here, Ray. It looks like Bowling Green decided to forego first bans here.
My apologies. I just had a really bad sneeze I had to mute for. Anyway, for UTD Celestial, yeah, I think that's extremely interesting. I've seen a couple of teams been doing this recently, which in my head, I've never understood. I'd love to talk to someone who does this to see what their thought process is. Because maybe like banning first is just always an inherent advantage. As a Lucio ban's going to come through for UTD Celestial.
I think it's more of just a mental kind of play here where you're just saying, hey, we're going to try to confuse the other team here really quickly. Let's just give them first bans and see what they do with it. And getting rid of the Lucio, I mean, Ray, Lucio might be one of the safest bans you could ever make.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really depends. If I remember correctly from UTD Celestial, I don't think they play a whole lot of Lucio, if I remember correctly. So just taking it away from the other team just makes it an even more powerful ban. Especially, like, as I mentioned, especially if you aren't running it that much yourself and just taking it away from the other team. Because Lucio is hard meta for a reason, folks.
Domina coming out here from Bowling Green. Very interesting ban with the Domina. I believe we were kind of told, or we were informed, that one of these teams does have a player that really does prefer the Domina. But Ray, how do you feel about the Domina, especially right now?
See, I would say on a map like Samoa, I'm not that high on a Domina. I mean, maybe you could play it on Volcano, but I still think it's not that optimal. On a lot of these maps, I do think the Ram and the Orisa are just going to be a lot stronger. And if you wanted to go poke on this map, I do think the Sig is also just going to be stronger. Domina tends to do a little bit better on maps like Havana or like Shambali Monastery. Don't think this is the map where I'd expect it. So the ban's a little perplexing to me.
It's a little perplexing, but I just feel like Domino might be in weirdly one of the worst states for any tank at the moment. I feel like when she first came out, granted, it's only been a season ago, she was looked at as being incredibly strong, but it was incredibly fast where a lot of people just kind of realized she's not as strong as we saw or we believed. But, I mean, hey, map 1 bans, I think the Lucio's really safe. The Dominant might be more targeted here. However, let's get over to the rosters right now. We'll be heading into our first map of this series very, very soon. Starting off with your higher seed, the Bowling Green State University Falcons Fresh and Dub Funk on your DPS line. Mr. Joker as your tank. Mute, Sammy, and Espresso as your support line here. Ray, I mean, you've watched a lot of these teams. You watch all the codes, like you said. This Bowling Green team was very interesting because when we played them early on in the season, I think a lot of people were a little bit down on them, but they crushed us.
Yeah, they have really come out and surprised a lot of people getting that 4 seed, being in the top 4. And I think a lot of it has been Fresh and Mr. Joker and Espresso. I mean, I think the entire lineup is really good. They also are without Jimbo this week, so we have to keep that in mind. But there's a reason why Mr. Joker has been getting a few shout outs for possibly Tank Roll Star. And same with Fresh for DPS Roll Star. So I can't wait to see. We have a lot of talented hit scan in the Diamond Division this season, and I think Fresh is just part of that bunch.
I certainly know of the talented hit scan there are in this division. They've given me nightmares at times, but let's go over to the other team now from the University of Texas at Dallas, Celestial Squad here. Punch God and Julio is cool as your DPS line. You have Anix as your tank, Fallout, and I Like Pie as your support line here. And Ray, this has been a really fun team to watch, especially when we went up against them in the regular season. This was a very fun team to go up against. A little bit annoying at times, but that's the type of plays you need at sometimes from teams.
Yeah, so Julio is cool. He's been one of their newer additions within these last few weeks of the season, and they have come out and been making some noise. There was a week where they were just going crazy on the Sojourn. They've shown to be a pretty flexible player, all things considered. So I feel like with this new blood in the roster, that's going to be one person to watch out for. And Punch God has always been extremely underrated in this lineup. So I think the DPS line is definitely going to be something to watch out for with this Celestial squad.
Yeah, 2 scary DPS lines here on both these teams. It's going to be really interesting to watch this as they go back and forth through each other throughout the night. I'm really looking at that support line, mostly because I'm a support player. But I feel like a lot of how teams play really hinge on how good your supports are playing. Without Lucio in this first map, I mean, like you kind of said, these two teams maybe prefer to play a little bit something different from the Lucio, which is really fun. I mean, hell, you could look at what Dallas Fuel did throughout the entirety of playoffs with Honest Overwatch. or whatever they called it there. But, I mean, you could really find viable comps without the Lucio there.
Yeah, I think that makes, especially Control, that much more interesting without the Lucio. I mean, obviously, you could still play the Juno, as we see as a little, player intro for Fallout, where you can get speed via the speed rings. But generally speaking, you're not going to be able to have that constant ability to speed your team around, which is crucial on a lot of these Control maps. How you adjust to that and how you play on these Control maps makes it that much more interesting and that much more important, given that you don't have the crutch of the Lucio.
Yeah, and especially when we're heading into a map like this, Downtown, I believe it's called, where you look at it and it's very interesting. Dive could really work here. Poke, I think, works very well. But you're seeing coming out of the gate, both these teams kind of gravitating towards a little bit more brawly here.
Yeah, there's no surprises here on more of this Downtown map. I think it's going to lend itself pretty well, as we do see Mr. Joker on that Orisa, as we talked about Orisa becoming much more of a mainstay. And we have A-Hicks on that Ramatra. I will say, the one thing that can be a little annoying is the Ramatra is going up against an Orisa, just because so many different cooldowns to mitigate a lot of your cooldowns, that Fortify, that Javelin spin, and the Spear can be very annoying, especially when you're informed.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about Orisa a lot. I mean, I think you yourself have gone a lot of Orisa play here as of late. Just the perks Orisa has really strong, but sometimes it might even be preferable not to pick that second perk because Javelin is strong, Spear Spin is really strong as well. Julio, though, almost being pressured out here a little bit by Mr. Joker, and it will be Mr. Joker who actually finds that Spear onto Punch God to get everything open up here. A-Hicks not going to be able to get out as Expresso's Kunai takes care of them, and Fallout. I will be able to find one, but that's going to probably be the only thing that this Celestial squad gets in this first engagement.
Yeah, that's going to be tough when you have an Orisa who's just able to just run at you pretty easily with those cooldowns. That's going to be the issue for UTD Celestial, is trying to put enough pressure on this Orisa for Mr. Joker to force out these cooldowns and allow you to be able to walk forward and not allow this Orisa to be able to be so bold and just come right at you like they did.
Yeah, and look at the ultimates charge here already for that first engagement. Everyone on Bowling Green already above 50%. Only one person on UTD above 50 right now. I think that's how dominant that first fight was here. Bowling Green, though, really good spacing we're seeing from them right now. And a lot of it is Mr. Joker just taking that space on the low ground, allowing the DPS line. You see the Dub Funk all the way over there on the opposite side of the map, trying to get in that backline. Fallout very low here, but actually I like Pi, who finds their second kill of this round already onto Dub Funk. And this should be Bowling, or this should be UTD going straight in.
Yeah, and aggression is the name of the game. Once they get that pick, it's the green light on the stop sign to be able to go, and they do just that. Fresh, able to get Julio is cool on the exit, but we were able to get the flip from Celestial. And again, I think that's what it's going to come down to. I like Pi has been on fire so far. Found 2 picks, but that is not what you need. You can't have Punch God going down early like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was really interesting that Bowling Green decided to back out of that fight rather than just stay on and die on point there. But when you find a pick like that, you go right back in. And look at Celestial. They're trying to back out the Terror Surge, though. Going to be able to find 2 off of that one there. Joker trying to find their 4th one of this fight. Not going to be able to. But Bowling Green back in control of the point after only giving up 21%.
Actually, we'll say, I think all things considered, Celeste, you got to be okay with that, especially getting out that Terra Surge, because I felt like you were losing that fight anyway. So to get them to commit an ult into that anyway is kind of a big deal. I mean, you're going to be re-engaging. Oh, I like Pi. No.
This 1-2 punch combo that Mr. Joker's been able to land here a couple times with the spear, the javelin going into someone, and they're just following up with their primary fire, has worked like a charm. Punch God's normally been the person on the opposite end of it, but finding I Like Pi out there slows down UTD so much here to where, essentially, once they get back, you're in final fight territory.
Yeah, as we're going to see a Kitsune Rush coming out for the Falcons, as UTD's trying to find an angle to be able to throw down some ult of their own, and they've already lost their Kitsune and Pi.
Again, Pi just getting taken out by Joker and Punch God. They're going to be able to find the trade there on the Dub, who does use their full herb. Blade now, and the overclock out here from UTD. Overwrite coming out from Mute Sammy as Joker going to be able to shut down Ahix. And now just the off angle here from Fresh being able to pump in damage, but it is all Mr. Joker in that kill feed. 3 picks for them already this fight, and the spear for extra pressure right there. Now the Kitsune comes out, but no one's going to be able to find any value off it. Overray out as well from Fallout, but still, again, no one's going to be able to find anything from it there. Bowling Green getting the night off well for them.
Again, that was just a dominant opening gambit for the side of BGSU. That Orisa from Mr. Joker is looking absolutely dominant. Kind of what I was hinting at is the reason why they've kind of been looked at a little bit for some Roll Star votes. And then I think Fresh, again, has been very impressive on that Sojourn, just being able to keep their positioning on their high ground and just finding the shots time and time again. So I think, you know, what more could you ask for if you're the Falcons?
Yeah, no, what more could you ask for? I mean, like you said, Fresh was taking off angles very well. They're not being pressured out at all. And because it was Mr. Joker just taking so much pressure and just attention away from UTD. I mean, that was exactly what you want there from that Bowling Green squad. No big swaps coming out from either team right now, other than Fresh going over to this, the Ash on this point. What do you think about that, Ray?
You know, the Ashe is interesting. You definitely have more room and a lot of open space to be able to free fire, but again, the Ashe has been very situational. It tends to be more on your escort type map, so let's see how that matches up into Punch God Sojourn for this sub map.
Julio getting taken low very early there. I believe that was Fall or Special getting some kunais into them. Will Fallout or Joker will find them there. Ahix, though, still on the high ground. But again, no one seems to notice that Espresso is in that side room just pumping in some damage. Fresh, though, going to make this Ash work like a charm here. Find that Dynamite so early on the Fallout. And again, UTD just hitting those S keys as they are backing out of the fight.
Yeah, and Fresh getting another pick onto I Like Pies. We're going to have to completely look to reset and re-enter this fight. Again, they're just struggling to find picks. Julio going down early in that previous fight. But Mr. Joker is just looking like the raid boss right now. We used to call Brig that, but right now it's looking like the Orisa.
I mean, they're getting the Orisa down pretty low at the moment, but the supports right now for BGSU doing a really good job of keeping them alive. Dub just trying to get in that backline, cause a little bit of trouble, but yet again, the raid boss is here, and they're making sure you're going right back to spawn to reset and try again. Fresh going to be able to take care of Punch God right there with a lot of help from Dub. And yet again, this looks like another fight for UTD where they are just going to try to find a way out, but there's going to be no escape.
No escapes at all, as Celestial is just having trouble finding ways just to get into these fights without getting picked early and often for the side of the Falcons. They are just playing picture perfect. Their positioning's been great. I mean, Mr. Joker is just doing Mr. Joker things, and the rest of the team is just following suit, and just they're playing really well synced up together.
It'd be really funny to find out Mr. Joker that we both know here, but we know he's not. But again, Joker just taking all of this space here. Look at what UTD's doing there. Had to respect it. A little bit of an off angle coming out there from Julio, but it's not gonna be able to find anything as Mr. Joker instead just continues his killing spree right now. There is no stop to this Orisa, as I believe they haven't died yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them go down either. Punch God do's gonna pick onto Dub Funk on that Tracer, so the opening window has been made for Celestial. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Bob now out here from Fresh as they will get taken out by the Annihilation. Bob though on point, going to be able to actually provide a lot of pressure here to UTD as this Annihilation now fade away here from AX. Joker's going to be able to take down Julio again, but finally the raid boss is dead. This is the time now for UTD to get something going here. They're trying to find some more picks, but looks like they will be the point here no matter what. AX almost taken out somehow, some way. Espresso is able to escape with their life, but not long enough as Punch God takes care of them. And Bowling Green going to be forced to reset for only the second time.
97% in counting, but it was a favorable ult exchange there. It was 2 for 2, and they're going to get I like pie, though. This happens every time Celestial finds themselves in a good position, Dex.
It's unfortunate as well, especially your Kiriko. That's who you're looking at to be your main source of healing here. Then you lose Julio out as well. This is the worst case scenario. I mean, right now, Bowling Green, if they can find Ahix, there might not even be a time for a touch here from the overclock out from Punch God, but no one's going to be able to get back in time for UTD. And Bowling Green trying to get some revenge from an early season loss against UTD, getting off to a really dominant start here. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but Bowling Green just looking absolutely dominant so far, and they're taking advantage of Celestial being in poor positions a lot of the times. It's like, you know, Celestial will win a fight, and then they'll look to push up and try and get aggressive, but just gets a little too big for their britches and get punished for it. And I mean, BGSU are making the plays to punish, but they are taking advantage of positions where UTD should not be in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was multiple times right there where we saw the Kiriko there for UTD just get taken out early on in fights, especially on the first point. They had Kitsune Rush ready to go for those final 2 engagements, but they were the first ones taken out. And it wasn't like they were making bad plays. One time it was they just got caught out. The other time was, well, they decided to have a split play. They went with the one DPS who would try to get an off angle, but just got caught out by Mr. Joker, who was just playing out of their mind. I mean, you saw right there at the end of map stats, 24-1 for them.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely dominant Orisa play out of them. And again, the entirety of BGSU, there's not much more to say, man. They're just playing almost as perfectly as you could, given the playoff stakes and everything. They are looking really good right now. Now, map pick does shift into the favor of Celestial, so maybe they can take it to a map where they feel a bit more comfortable, but something's got to be shaken up right now because that was a dominant performance from the Falcons.
Yeah, and we will say this. The ban that came out there from Bowling Green on that Domina was very much targeted at Ahix. We were told that Ahix is the Domina player for this team. And the Lucio, like you said, it felt like it wasn't necessarily needed there for either team, especially even though the Orisa normally really needs that Lucio to be able to get around. I don't think Joker had much worry or didn't worry that much about it not being there.
Yeah, no, for sure. They definitely showed they did not necessarily need that Lucio. I mean, the Juno did plenty for them when it came to the speed rings, but I mean, Orisa also isn't a hero who needs to rely super heavily on a Lucio either. They're fine playing their distance and being able to just poke you from a distance with their primary fire and their javelin. So I think they just, you know, knowing they didn't have a Lucio, played the right comp. I feel like the Ram is more of a character who relies more heavily on needing that Lucio to be able to close the distance and be able to get in position to punch people with that form easier.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we talked about it a little bit before the map started. Ramatra's kind of come back into the meta here a little bit. A lot of people saying maybe one of the strongest tanks in the game right now. Orisa, though, especially in the hands of Mr. Joker, made it look like it was probably back where it was last season, where, yeah, you could play the Ramatra, but you need a lot of help with it there. But hey, a lot can change. There's still a lot to go in this series. And UTD, when we do get the map pick here, it's going to tell us a lot about how they want this to kind of go.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick Havana, maybe you want to play more poke style, and maybe the Domino was a good ban. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, again, these are also collegiate teams. It's possible they have matched up with each other previously in different tournaments and stuff that we just don't see. So maybe that was a more well-informed ban than we may have thought. But I mean, just remembering the codes and stuff that I watched, I just don't remember a whole lot of Domino coming out of Celestial. But I mean, you could also, take us to more of a dive-oriented map, or maybe they go brawl and they try and run at it again and see if it goes better next time around. And maybe the Lucio having that back. I don't know. I'm not sure because they're the ones who banned it.
Yeah, I mean, this could definitely be a map where you ban, no matter what map it is, where you ban out Orisa just to not see it. But I feel like it's maybe a little bit too early to have that kind of reactionary ban. Yeah, Joker did do an incredible job, and like we even said, was a little bit of a raid boss. I think it's a little bit too early to say, hey, we need to get rid of the Orisa now.
27-1 though.
I mean, yeah, you can give them that, but is it? You could bring us to a map where the Orisa does not find any value. Like, you could bring us to a dive map to try to get away from the Orisa.
Question is, are they well versed in playing that dive to be able to take us there? And then you can say, okay, yeah, Orisa doesn't really get much value here. But let's say, they consider themselves more brawl aficionados, then maybe you gotta take it to like an Atlas and just ban the Orisa.
Yeah, maybe. But hey, we can stop speculating on what the map is going to be, as we have been told map pick is in here from UTD. Man. And here we go. And it's going to be Rialto, which I feel like it's been a map that we started to see a lot more as of late. A little bit of a surprise to me. Rialto's not a bad map, but I feel like you just normally see teams kind of stray away from it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rialto, because it's interesting because it can be a map where you want to play more poke oriented, but there's also like Diva's Haven as well. So I feel like those are the two styles that you're mostly going to see, is either Sigma and or Domina poke, or like a Diva Winston dive, depending on, what the bans end up shaking out to be. So I think that the ban phase is going to be very informative on what we should expect. There was a matchup that UTD Celestial had in the last week of the regular season where against VP, they were dominating UTD. They were dominating VP. And then they just dropped the spaghetti and Bandit had one of the best clutches in one of the fights and just allowed them to cap all 3 points with a minute on the clock in like this extra round. So I do think UTD find themselves pretty confident and good on this map. That we've seen good performance. As long as they just don't have a catastrophic drop of the spaghetti like I saw in week 8, I think this could be a good map for them.
I mean, hey, they need a good map here, and hopefully there will be no spaghetti on the floor here in Italy, as I think that might actually be a crime there. But we can get away now from the map and get over to the bans. Again, UTD, losing last map, will have the first ban here. Is this the Orisa, or do they go after something else here? I don't imagine they go after the support line here, because, again, I think you want to get rid of Lucio, but you're not going to get rid of Kiriko here, as both the teams did heavily rely on Kiriko.
I mean, yeah, I think, if both of you feel pretty comfortable in the Kiriko, I doubt anyone's going to go out of their way to ban it, if that makes sense. But I mean, it could just be one of those bans you throw out there. If you feel comfortable not being on the Kiriko and you feel like the other team kind of crutches it a little bit, that could be a situation where you look to go for it. But the Ashe coming out, I guess they got pretty spooked by it on the beach map, because they have banned it. And again, this is one of those maps where Ashe can actually get a lot of play.
Yeah, but you also just leave Widow right there, which I feel like you see a lot of teams just preemptively go for the Widow on this map. You were that worried about a hit scan coming in, but Fresh last map, I mean, they lived off of playing on off angles and weren't ever really punished that much. So the Ashe, like you said, good for this map, finds a lot of value on this map. It's going to be interesting to see, though, because Widow's still there, Freya's still there, Hanzo, and still that Sojourn is still there. But Bowling Green, now on the clock here. Where do they go?
That's a big question. I mean, they're going to ban the Ana, which, I mean, I guess on a map like this, if you're going to go possibly like Winston or Diva Dive, Brig Ana could be your possible support duo. Not sure if it's not like we've seen Ana at either of these two, but again, also Samoa is not really an Ana map either. So again, they may just know more about each other than I might realize. And, maybe Ana was the expected pick here and they're getting rid of that.
Yeah, honestly, I think these two bands are really good. And I think these are basically map-specific bands. Ana really works well on this map. Same thing why Ash works well. Long sight lines, especially on the first and second points, allow those two heroes to get a lot of value off. And just Ana with the bio nade, able to give more healing and no healing to the other team, is incredibly strong here. So I think these are good map-specific bands here for both these teams.
Another big question is going to be, what adjustments does this Celestial squad make to try and tie up this series going up against the Falcons? I mean, I mentioned this last night on the stream where I feel like, we just don't see a lot of reverse sweeps happen. So going down 0-2 is not the greatest, especially in Overwatch 2, but then we proceeded to have a reverse sweep last night. So I'm just make sure you tie this up, man. Regardless, it's going to be very important to make sure you do that.
I mean, I wouldn't say anything about a reverse sweep. It's already happened once. Actually, it's happened a couple times. But it's definitely happened once in this tier, this playoffs already. So it is certainly possible. But I mean, looks like no change here for either of these two teams. And like I said, the Domina is back on the table. Domina could be played on this maps, and it is AHIC's preferred hero, I believe.
I mean, this is a map where you could possibly see the dive. I kind of mentioned the two styles that you could see is like the poke or the dive. So it's not too surprising because we're going to see AHICS go over to the Sigma, which this is more of the poke tank I kind of expected on this map. I just think right now Sig is also just the far superior poke tank versus the Dominage. Just a couple maps that you would play Domina sometimes. The Domina just, I still think Shambali overall is a really good Domina map still. But Sigma v Sigma, I am not shocked by this at all. I am a little shocked that no one's electing to go the Diva route, but I mean, hey, I'll take a Sigma battle.
Right now, I think we might be learning that these two teams might not prefer to play dive.
Yeah. That might be what we see. I mean, more of this series, shape it out, further maps could tell us for sure, but yeah, I definitely think that's what we're looking at right now.
I mean, Ray, this is good scouting for you. You play one of these teams next. But Fresh almost getting taken out here early by this disruptive shot. Same thing with Mute Sammy, who immediately has to fall back. Bowling Green, I mean, they were dominant all of last map. A good team fight victory here for UTD would do wonders for them. But right now, you see Bowling Green pushing up this card. About probably to this corner, but it's actually going to be that grenade from Fresh. Finding Fallout here first. There goes your speed now for UTD, and you immediately see them just fall back. But honestly, though, because they have to, that card is already past that corner.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to get at least one more opportunity at this. As you see Dumpunk on the Reaper coming in, trying to get a pick. They do get 2 picks off of the Falcons, but you trade out your Sigma, so you have to back out and re-engage. But the Falcons won't be able to push up as aggressively as they would wish because they're down 2 players right now.
They're down 2 players. They're down their support line. I think that's the biggest thing to say about that. Espresso and Mute Sammy are the ones gone. It wouldn't surprise me if someone like Fresh is actually kind of sitting back to at least be able to get Espresso back into this fight pretty quickly. And you see them here as well. But Fresh can be the first one taken out of this one. UTD, all they need to do here is clean it up. There goes Espresso. And this is what I was talking about, Ray. All they needed was one team fight victory. And I think you're going to see this UTD team play a little bit differently.
Yeah, I think once you finally get your footing down and you can, catch your breath, take a sigh of relief, and calm your nerves a little bit, this is where things start to get better. And this first point of Rialto tends to be a hard sticking point. Plenty of teams get first point health. So I feel like the Falcons are going to have to look for a good angle of entry here to try and get some of their players in positions to find picks.
I think you said it right there, but you cannot afford to lose Fallout. It was I like Pi last map. We got caught out a couple times first and led to Bowling Green going in. Now you're losing Fallout first again here, but Joker almost taken out. And Punch God, though, they decide to invest into this fight, and man, the investment is paying off here early on. Finding one, almost finding a second one. There's the second one, but now they might have to fall back. However, this fight is already over as Pi takes out Dumpunk, and the rest of Bowling Green looking for that exit path.
And it's kind of what I talked about, as Punch God's been a little bit, flying under the radar a little bit, but very talented players we just saw there. Got very aggressive. I got a little worried that they were able to find the picks in the end. Flux going to come online and force out that feed, but the good Suzu coming in.
Now the Flux out from Joker and the Override out from Fresh as well. Deadeye, though, out from Julio as they're trying to find some trade back or at least slow down the Falcons. It looks like it's going to do just that. Slow down the Falcons just enough. UTD still down 1 member, though, at the moment. However, Punch God will be able to get back pretty quickly. However, AHICS They're not going to be able to get back quickly at all. No more ultimates needed here for Bowling Green, as they're going to be able to cap this point and have 3 really strong ultimates going in as Mute Sammy finds 4 to end that one.
Yeah, very, very good plays from the Juno. I do think if you were Celeste, you needed a hard back out there because you were going to be able to get a re-engage with both of your support ultimates. As I think that was a big mistake in just knowing what they need, the positions they needed to play, and what their scenario was. I mean, now both teams are going to be able to come in with both their support ultimates, but Falcons have the death blocks, and that's 3 with it.
I think the number 1 rule of shooter esports is check your corners, ladies and gentlemen, because Dub Funk right there, yeah, you saw Julio check the corners, but it just did not matter. The double shot into the Death Blossom just cleans up that fight, and if you're Bowling Green, 1 ultimate wins you that team fight, you still have both your support ultimates going in this next one.
Yeah, you're going to have it to match the double support ultimates that Celeste is going to have, so even fight across the board for both of these teams. Joker creeping up on a Flux team online could be like a late game play in this fight.
Orbital out here from Fallout to just counter Espresso's Consumer Rush. Now it's also out from Mute Sammy as well, so Consumer Rush and Orbital Raid out from both sides. No one dying just yet, but this late Orbital from Sammy might be the difference as Dub already finds 1, looking for a second one, but look at the pressure coming out here now onto UTD. Fresh can be able to turn it out. Now Joker also decides to invest into this fight. Might not have been needed, but hey, you at least get the second point off of it.
Yeah, definitely not needed there. I think you're going to wish you had that back for the next subsequent fights because, I mean, the only thing you're going to have for this next fight is the override protocol, but no support ultimates to really help you out with that. I mean, it's not like you have a beat anyway, but just being able to get the refresh on like Suzu to help you out through the override protocol. So with this coming online for Fresh, for Celestial, it's all going to be about positioning and make sure your team is just out of sight and out of mind and not let this protocol get value.
I mean, Punch got their overclock last time got a lot of value and actually helped UTD win a fight. I think that's what they kind of need now, but like you said, this override protocol from Fresh could be huge. They immediately decided to pop that right now. However, I think that first shot eats nothing but shield. Second shot eats nothing but shield yet again. Joker, they're going to make sure the third shot, if they get one off here, will find someone. And yeah, it's going to be able to find Punch God, who unfortunately just also popped their own overclock right there. Up to Fall to be the last touch, but it'll be Dub taking care of them. 2 minutes, 42 seconds on that time bank for the Falcons as they complete the map.
Yeah, that's a really dominant attack coming out of the Falcons. Celestials just feel like they're reeling, they're on their back foot. They feel like Fresh has been low-key a huge dominant factor on this map. We want to talk about Mr. Joker on map number 1. Today on this map of Rialto, it's been the Fresh show.
I mean, they're keeping it fresh here right now. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see. I think are the names backwards? I think the names are backwards. But no, like Fresh did an incredible job of that first round. I mean, Dub and Fresh, that's a very scary lineup right there. And you see it, 27 and 3 combined. And you add Mr. Joker into that, that's 40 and 3. Or my bad, 40 and 4 as a tank and DPS line right there. That is really, really hard to beat there. I think that's what's really scary about this Bowling Green squad, is when one person's kind of struggling, you still have someone else who can immediately step up and start to take over a little bit and allow time for that struggling player to really find their footing yet again.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see. I mean, Falcons, they're just looking really good right now. Celestial's got to come up with something, man. I mean, if you get first point held here, for example, I mean, it's just gonna feel like you don't have any answers. I do like them hopping on this diva angle. I kind of talked about it. I was a little surprised on that previous round that nobody was taking this angle. So you're just gonna be able to take control of high ground a whole lot easier with this diva.
I want to see it work out for UTD here because I think they showed us some signs last round that they were going to be able to at least stay competitive in it. But oh my goodness, Punch God, finding Mute Sammy out that early is a huge boon for them. But you immediately trade it right back onto Punch God. That seems like whenever they find something to go their way, it immediately just fires right back in their face as Dub continuing right where they left off from last round.
I was gonna say that's probably fine. Yeah, you get 2 picks in the end, and these attack spawns are just so much better. So these trade outs favor Celestia right now. So you're gonna take that as still. You got to get rid of Mr. Joker, who's just on this point and not getting contested whatsoever.
I don't hate this idea from UTD just going after everyone else and then going after Joker, because if you can get rid of the DPS line, I mean, Joker can only stand on their own two legs for so long right there, but I like Pi almost being taken out by Dubfunk, who this Reaper has just been a constant problem for UTD so far this entire map, but now they're starting to build a little bit of space here. Julio gonna be able to get out with their lives here, but they need a lot of healing, and Joker gonna be able to shut down I Like Pi. Again, it's always unfortunate for UTD, because it seems like the first person taking out a lot of these fights is one of the supports.
Yeah, you just can't have that constantly happening time and time again. As BGSU did a great job of saying, in that case right there, it was Julio got forced out early and then got behind the supports. So then I Like Pi turned around to heal them, and then you just get a big rock into your back if you're I Like Pi from Mr. Joker, and just taking advantage of you not realizing that there's a Sigma right behind you.
I mean, hell, taking a rock in the back, a big rock in your back in real life would probably result in the same kind of outcome right there, but half the time bank almost gone here now for UTD. You are coming up with ultimates, but same thing could be said here for Bowling Green, as outside of Mute Sammy, everyone's going to have their ultimates ready to go in a matter of seconds. Bloodstone coming out from Joker, the Death Blossom out from Dub. Expresso investing as well, so a heavy ult fight here for Bowling Green. Maybe, again, one that maybe one or two ultimates they would want back, but hey, they win the fight.
Yeah, because Celestial didn't use a single one of their ultimates, so that was 3-for-0 exchange for the side of BGSU. So Celestial comes in now with a heavy ult investment, ult economy favorite over the Falcons right now. This has to be their chance and their moment to really start getting this first point delivered, Dex.
Do not allow this override protocol or this orbital ray to really be something that shuts you down here, especially when you have a bomb and your own one. But Fresh doesn't even need the ultimate right there to shut down Julio. And I think this is just going to stall out UTD even longer right now, as they want all 5 members to be a part of this engagement.
Yeah, I mean, you can't start to get the advantage to get things going when you're down players. You just can't let this happen time and time again if you're Celestial. They can't even stop Dubfan from being up on that stairs area. He's been there the entire time. They have not been able to force him out.
Rush now out from I Like Pi, trying to get something going here. Fresh though with the override, trying to get something. They're struggling right now, but at least they're splitting up UTD here. Overclock out here from Punch God, as they are struggling, but they find one with Fresh, trying to turn their sights. They're on Mute Sammy, not to be able to find them. Now being punched out by Dubfunk, who has just honestly taken over this map here for Bowling Green. UTD, they are fearing this Reaper at the moment, but UTD finally getting this card pushed up here a little bit. Still 3 ultimates in their back pocket. But look at Bowling Green here. Got that 3 more of their own. The blade is out, but it gets shut down there from Julio. Overall out now from Mute Sammy, as Fallout not even going to be able to get theirs out. UTD probably forced to just reset right now.
Yeah, one final opportunity. They're going to have their Orbital Ray and a remech available, but the Falcons, they kind of build up to a new cycle. They're going to have Rush. They're going to have Flux. They're going to get a Death Blossom late. Celestial's going to have to win this fight quickly before this Death Blossom gets online.
Right now, I mean, yours is out there from Espresso. That could be big now from them. But Rush out. Joker does have this Flux online, but they're still trying to find a lot of your Fallout. The Orbital is invested. They need to be able to find one off, and they find a huge one. They're on to Fresh. Flux, though, out as Julio finds Dubfunk. They will be able to find Fallout, and now Ahex probably going to have to invest that bomb here. They're getting into a spot where it might be able to find some value or push Bowling Green off just long enough if they are forced to use it. As a nice shot there from Punch God will be able to take care of Espresso. Joker falls as well, and UTD maybe a little bit too close for comfort, but Ray, they get the first point.
Yeah, that was very close. I would have been like nervous about set of Celestial, but they get it down. They didn't even have to use their remech either, so very favorable fight coming out for them in the end, even if it looked a little rough for a moment. But now they find themselves in a position where you're going to have your Kitsune Rush, you still have your remech, and you're likely going to have this overclock. And the only ultimate that the Falcons have at their disposal is going to be this Death Blossom. I will say, Dubfunk has found a lot of value with them, so you got to be very careful.
Where is he? I imagine he's looking for a spot. However, I mean, they get caught out here pretty early on. Gonna just immediately have to fall back as the deflect coming out there from Julio, but you know they're looking for it. They know that deflect's gone, and the Susan's gone as well, and yeah, that's just the go button, but it's gonna be Julio who just slices through them there. The Death Blossom not gonna find the value this time around as UTD. I think they might be starting to find their footing in this series here now a little bit. They have the ultimate to play with Ahex going in aggressively, as again, they have this remix and to get rid of Fresh. Orbital out for Mute Sammy. I just don't think there's gonna be much value from it. Ahex with 3. Joker will be able to find one though. Bomb. Actually, no, that was just a little bit of a stun there, but second point gonna be capped up here by UTD as they just casually roll through second point.
Very, very awesome second point attack coming out from Celestia. And the entire time they still only use their overclock to be able to secure that. So we see Dubfunk now getting off of the Reaper, going up the Sim. I will say though, that is the first time from Dubfunk, but that was the most obvious coordinate. That was screaming, "I'm about to death blossom you." Like, if UTD didn't realize that, I would have been, my mind would have been blown. That was really obvious.
And you have to think about it. They got every cooldown out from the other side that you think would slow down a Death Blossom. You saw Suzu, you saw Deflect out there, but hey, sometimes all you need is a really sharp stick and you'll be able to take care of it. Override Protocol and the Flux coming out here from BGSU as they are just trying to make sure that they are able to slow down UTD here. As they found something, but you lose like Pie, you lose Punch God. Yeah, you lose Fresh here if you're Bowling Green, but you got what you were looking for there at just being able to stabilize here on the defensive side.
Yeah, getting those big-time ultimates out of the way. I mean, you still have to contend with Kitsune Rush as Fresh is going to go over to the cast now to try and help, deal with the Genji, deal with the Diva. But Celestial should be able to come in 4 ultimates in their disposal. I think you use 1 or 2 here to secure the point, and then you save another 1 to 2 to make sure you get this point across the finish line and force extras.
Online here. However, nice ice wall coming out there from Dub. Espresso invests the Kitsune Rush into this fight now. Everyone able to get out other than, where's Julio? I thought Julio was still up there, but no, looks like they're able to get out. But however, sometimes that ice wall will just shoot your eye out right there. Fallout gonna fall as well. No supports here for UTD as, I mean, this should just be everyone getting out. You invest the bomb into this engagement and you're not even able to get the remix. Oh, that's just costly, Ray.
It is extremely costly. You still have a minute, but again, Dex, they're not putting themselves in good positions to be able to use these ults aggressively. Like, you're going against Tame. You can't just be going through these small hallways where the wall can just completely cut your team off.
Gets it out here early with the blade, now out from Dub, and look on the other side, that Kitsune Rush and the Blizzard, Ahix, D-Mech, and D-Life there as well. This fight already all but over as Julio decides to go Mach 5 into the wall right there. Punch will be able to find one. That's going to probably be the only thing that UTD gets this fight.
At 20 seconds in counting, we have a Flux and an Orbital Ray and a High Nude coming out from the Falcons. Celestial, Ahix going to go over to the ball now as they have their Overclock, their Blade, their Orbital Ray. Let's see. I think it's just going to come down to aggression. Who looks to get out his ultimates first?
Blade out here from Julio, but much like the last time we saw the Blade, shut down immediately. Flux, Deadeye, and Orbital all coming out from Bowling Green. Punch Cut will be able to find one, but much like last fight, that's going to be the only thing that UTD finds. Bowling Green, I mean, it looked like UTD might have been able to find something there, but Bowling Green comes right back in with one swap and says, not really. You might have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, man, again, another great showing from BGSU as they're going to go up 2-0 in this series. I will give it to Celestial. They had some moments on this map, but they still had some of those very low moments as well, Dex, where it's like they're getting caught out so early. They're losing their Kiriko so early in these fights. So, I mean, you're getting some stuff that's getting better, but other stuff that is still persisting from map 1.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because that second point from UTD on that push was so good for them where they had everything go their way. They got ultimates out from the other side that found 0 value. And like I said, I thought they were maybe starting to find their footing. They were starting to find some weaknesses to this Bowling Green team. And I mean, it was looking so good. And then I'm not going to say the bomb investment there from Ahix was the start of it because they had already pushed back at that point. But it was kind of the realization point was like, maybe this one's already gone a little bit too far away from them.
Yeah, they just find themselves in, not the best spots in a lot of these situations. But we are going to be throwing it to a quick break and giving UTD Celestial a bit of time to figure out what they want to do here to try and come back in reverse sweep. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right, everybody. Hope you've been enjoying your Sunday night action here right now. As Bowling Green, they have been putting on a hell of a show so far. Up 2-0 on series point at the moment. UTD, though, they did show some signs of life last map, but are they going to be able to carry that over into our third map of the night here? That will be told here in a brief moment. But Ray, I mean, we've seen a lot of good play from Bowling Green here tonight. UTD, like I said, it seems like they found something last map. Weren't able to completely put together there, but you talked about reverse sweeps happening. There's already been one that's happened in this tier, this playoffs. Could there be another one here tonight?
Yeah, and there was one that happened last night in the Masters division as well. So it is well within the ability, for these teams to be able to do that. So let's see what UTD Celestial has come up with to try and come back and reverse sweep, as we do have what the third map is going to be, and it is Suravasa.
Interesting. I do like this as a map pick, but I feel like we can go back to what we saw in Samoa and just kind of say that Bowling Green, it seemed like they knew how to play control maps, and Flashpoint is just, 5 mini control maps in one map.
Oh, for sure. I mean, again, it's going to lend itself a little bit, in my opinion, better to Brawl. I mean, we have seen teams who like to play Wrecking Ball on this map, but I don't think either of those teams really play that. So I kind of expect more of like Orissas and Rams of the sorts on this map. I know this is a map where your team likes to play the Reinhardt. So yeah, that's kind of what you should expect on this map.
It could be really fun to see the Rhine. I think, yeah, you know what? In my series, we had a Rhine v Rhine. That was fun. But I mean, UTD, they showed us a lot last map. I hope this is the map they're able to finally put it all together, but we'll figure that out here in a brief moment. However, first, let's move on to bans here right now. UTD will have the first ban. You have to remember, last map they banned out the Ash. Is this the map you banned out the Orisa?
I think this is where you look to try and pull the trigger on that. I mean, maybe you could say go for possibly Emery, based on how well Fresh played, but I feel like Orisa is gonna have to be able to do that.
Yeah, I just think with how we saw Mr. Joker play that Orisa back on Samoa, that you really cannot allow this Orisa to even exist on this map this time around here. UTD, though, gonna be banning out the Cassidy instead. I mean, it makes sense. We saw great play come out from Bowling Green last map, especially
That
on
was also
that
like a
Cassidy.
last-minute swap, though. It's not like they were playing that the whole time. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of get it where this map's a little bit more brawly, but I still think Emery's gonna be just fine on this map, and I'm just surprised they didn't go the Orisa.
I kind of am too, but Bowling Green now, that Orisa's not there. I mean, they could go after a tank here. I mean, they did get rid of the Ana last map. I don't think we were going to see it anyway, but again, it was a very good map ban there for them. What does Bowling Green do here? And now we will figure out in just a moment here.
Yeah, so BG's just gonna ban the Ram. That's kind of what I figured was gonna happen. I mean, so let's see. If I remember correctly, AHIX does have Orisa in their pool, so maybe we see Orisa v Orisa, which would be really cool. We'll have to see if AHIX can match up to what we saw from Mr. Joker on map 1.
I mean, it could really be here. It would be really interesting to see, though, because you have to remember, Eggs does show off that Domina. This could be a map where you see the Domina, but you have to play it in a very certain way, which might make it a little bit more difficult to have it run here. But again, UTD's backs are against the wall, not for the season. If they lose here, they still do drop down to that lower bracket. But I mean, again, we've seen some wild stuff already this postseason across multiple divisions. I'm not saying reverse sweep is completely off the table just yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's completely off the table at all. I do think both these teams have the skill and capabilities to be able to win this map. So BGSU still got to finish the job and make this a clean 3-0 and move on in the bracket. But for the side of Celestial, let's see how the cast ban is. I'm skeptical of that one. I'm very shocked they didn't just go the way of the Orisa, but prove me wrong.
I mean, yeah, I think the entirety of this map is going to be a prove us wrong kind of thing with that cast ban. The Orisa, I felt like was a much bigger problem, and even with the cast, I mean, you still have Soj, you still have Ash, you still have, like you said, the Emre, which you thought might be the next ban that we potentially saw come out from them here, and Fresh going over to the Echo instead. At least that's what they're teasing us with. And AHIX, we talked about this already. The Dominant coming out for them. Like I said, it could work here as they change. It could work. but you need to play almost in a very specific way that I just don't know if you really want to try it.
Interesting to see at least the Ryan being teased a little bit from the side of BGSU.
The cat.
Same with the Winston. Like, they're gonna roll out on the Winston. I'm very shocked here. Like, if you're gonna play a dive tank, why not just go the Diva? They showed the capabilities of actually looking good on the Diva as well.
The cat is here.
Hey, I've seen you play the cat on this map in a CGL match and win.
It worked. We won.
Yeah.
We won, and that team that we beat, that was their only map loss at the time. That was really fun. But back to this one. Ahex taken out almost immediately by Espresso. I mean, Espresso, we haven't called their name here a lot, but they always found ways to find picks early on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Espresso at the beginning, being one of the players to look out for on this squad, and I think they've just been the consistent, steady hand for this team. They may not have always had the pop-off huge moments, but they've been consistently great.
I think that's one thing that's really impressive with this Bowling Green team is, and we talked about it, like you can have one player that's kind of struggling, but you have just immense talent across the rest of this team here that the others are going to be able to easily pick it up and give you that time to be able to get out of a little bit of a slump that you might be in here. Ahex, so back right and going to be diving. It almost gets rid of Fresh as all the support in the world goes to them, but Ahex finds them right back out. But the next two picks go right on that support line for UTD. They might find one more trade, but that's going to probably be all they get this fight as now Mutant Sammy running for their lives. Ahex going to be able to take care of them. I mean, this fight isn't over just yet, but you need a lot of big plays coming out of UTD. Oh.
Stick comes in. This might be what they need. We still have a Tracer available from Dub Funk, and they missed the pulse bomb, so it's still up in the air, Dex.
It's still up in the air. I mean, you kind of want Punch God here. It's unfortunate they blinked to their own pulse bomb right there, but UTD does get the point cap here, and I mean, both pulse bombs gone. There's still a lot of ultimates about to be coming up here. This could be a pretty heavy ult fight here.
That pressure now going over to the Bastion. This is not great for a Winston base composition. They're gonna have to be very careful, but they've already lost their support line.
And a charge lands on Ahex, who's not able to escape as Espresso finding them out there. UTD though, still in control of the point, but that's probably not gonna last much longer as Punch God gonna be able to get taken out there by the new Bastion of Fresh.
Yeah, I mean, the Bastion just puts so much pressure onto a Winston, blows up their bubble, and then blows up them. There's, like, very little a Winston specifically can do to deal with a Bastion. So, again, it's going to be tough sledding for Ahex. It's just going to be about trying to position yourself in safe positions to not get blown up by that Bastion, and hopefully, like, someone like Julio can get on top of the Bastion and get rid of them, so then it can allow you to play more aggressively.
It's awkward that you kind of have to form a whole team dive here to get rid of the Bastion because it just opens up so much more for Bowling Green to do here. And look what Bowling Green has. I mean, they're going to have everything outside that pulse bomb. We're ready to go here. What?
And, it's still able to get Punch God. They just had no idea the Rhine was on their back.
I mean, close to now. Okay, Dub somehow falls off the map. The override, though, coming out here. Julio's Blade. Much like the last two times we saw it get shut down almost immediately, and Bowling Green going to be able to take the point here first as Fallout trying to escape with their lives, but lost in transit right there, it seems.
Very unfortunate. I don't know, man. I just feel like the cat. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you're not getting the value out of the cat that you need. They're gonna go over to the Ana now. And you get an anti-nade onto that Bastion, but you still have to be careful with that Suzu as well.
It's very hard to run the Ana into the comp that I think Bowling Green is playing because you have Mr. Joker's shield that can stop a lot of it here. Joker immediately going to be able to find Julio there. As again, Bowling Green just kind of making this almost look easy here at the moment. UTD though, all they need is one team fight, and they can immediately turn this around for themselves.
That they could. Tracer battle ensuing behind the point. Pulse Bomb whiffs as Punch God gets taken down by Mute Sammy, and BGSU still has so many ults at their disposal. You get anti, but it's not going to matter when Orion can just sit there and shield for you.
Dub's going to be able to take care of I Like Pie. That shatter coming out, I don't think lands onto anyone, but it buys the time to keep this Bastion alive, and it buys you the time to get this second point to not only put them on the map point, but put them on the series point as well.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, Celestial has to not only reverse sweep the series, but reverse sweep this map as... Screen is black for me. Okay, there we go.
We back. We're back. Nothing ever happened there.
As Celestial, they will have a Kitsune Rush to go down on this point to try and take space quickly and hopefully cap this point quickly and early.
They need something to go their way here. Fresh almost getting taken out would have been huge, as that's a main source of damage. But instead, you're losing follow. You're actually getting the fight to go your way. Pulse Bomb out from Dub, not going to be able to find anything but the ground. UTD going to be able to potentially take this point here first, and yeah, they will. Nice sleep there by I Like Pie to make sure Joker doesn't pin them against the wall. But if you're UTD, you get this point in Punch God. I believe that's the third pick of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, Punch God trying to do everything they can to keep their team and their hopes of staying in the winner's side of the bracket alive. Kitsune Rush still available for follow. They did not have to use that at all this fight, and you have a Nano at your disposal as well. I do with the swap for Aiden team members to use it as well as trying to deal with the Bastion, but it doesn't matter because Fresh has gone over to the Ash now.
We saw what Fresh did with Ash earlier on. Nanoblade coming out here as Julio trying to find someone. Ahix still going to be able to shut down Joker, and they shut down Sammy as well. Actually, I believe it was Ahix who got the Nano. But hey, in the end, it doesn't necessarily matter. Celestial comes out on top with the fight win.
Yeah, I mean, results are results, and you also got a Kitsune Rush out of the side of the Falcons as well. So, I mean, despite that being a 3 ult investment, you're still able to get a critical ultimate off of the table. 90% and counting. BGS, you have to go in quick and get this touch.
Have heroes that can definitely go and get the touch, especially like that one right there. Dub gonna get the touch. Joker was put to sleep for a brief moment right there, but Punch God does have this overclock online. They're gonna use it now, but they're already down 2 members of their team in this fight, looking for a little bit more here. Aix gonna be able to find Mute as they're actually getting rid of, almost gonna be able to find Mr. Joker. They're fine, Mr. Joker, but the point flips back over into Bowling Green control. And man, I think if you're Celestial, you are so close right there.
I know, so close, but yet so far is the same. And they used like the last big ultimate they had online. I mean, you're gonna have a remake, but BGSU just look at they're coming up on 4 big time ultimates, and they can just continue to apply pressure.
Getting pressured out here a little bit by Dub, who's going to be able to escape with their lives here. But look at UTD, a lot of members low on health. Ahix has to use the bomb here. Will they even be able to get back into Mac? I don't think they do. They get shattered out of it. A huge play by Mr. Joker. And if you're UTD Celestial, you're looking to back out and regroup because you are in final fight territory right now with no ultimates.
No ultimates, and their face pulse bomb, and they get the late staggers. They're just gonna have a staggered touch as well. I don't know if anyone is even gonna be able to touch. No ultimates, facing a Bob and an orbital ray. I think this might be all but done, Dex.
Ahix might throw their body onto the point right now. Fresh already finds Bob. There's the touch at least for overtime. Bob and that Ray out on point. Fresh finding 2. He's going to be able to find a 3rd here, but this fight, you're going to need a miracle right now if you're Celestial to even get back into it. No, you don't even find a touch right there. As Bowling Green State take our series in a 3-0 sweep, and we'll move on to play Drop the Guns in the next round.
I mean, BGSU came into this series and absolutely dominated, showed why they were one of the top 4 teams in the Diamond Division this season. And I mean, Celestial's now going to have to collect their mental and go for quite the loser bracket run.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think anything's possible here in this Diamond tier. We've seen some chaos in the past. We've already seen some chaos here this season. I think they might be able to go into that lower bracket. I think with that second chance at life here in their last life, they might be able to really show something against some of the other teams. I think this was a really rough matchup for them, especially even though they did win this series up against Bowling Green earlier on in the season. I think what we saw in the back half of the season, those last 4 weeks, was a completely different Bowling Green team than what we saw in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Bowling Green has really brought it all together, and they're looking incredibly impressive. So congratulations to them for getting this victory 3-0 as they'll move on to the winners semifinals. We will be having a winner's interview with one of the players from BGSU Falcons, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break while we set that up. Don't go anywhere.
Feel my heart, it's beating. All my body's breathing. It's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep
here, you get an insight and you know something, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the booth here. We are pleased to be joined by Fresh, a member of that Bowling Green State University Falcons team that just 3-0 swept UTD Celestial here tonight. Man, congratulations on the victory here tonight. A great performance overall from everybody here, and it was across a wide variety of compositions here. Do you guys look at yourself as having this very flexible kind of core that makes it difficult for teams to estimate or get a good idea for you guys on?
Yeah, our team's definitely been very flexible with our play style. We don't really stick to like necessarily one. We've been kind of running like this kind of brawly poke, and it's kind of just been favoring us. So yeah, I don't think we've really stuck to anything specifically.
Sweet. And my first question is going to be, how's this semester going for y'all? I mean, I'm assuming you haven't played a lot of Overwatch, but class is going well for all you guys and all that. I know you're coming up on finals.
Oh yeah, finals coming up real quick next week probably, and just a lot of us trying to just get through it at this point.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Coming in, I don't know if you guys are super familiar with UTD and if you guys have played each other in the past or anything like that. But my question was, what was the idea behind the Domina ban on that first map? I kind of figured you guys might go Samoa, just seeing past codes and seeing your guys' success on it. But I was curious where that ban came from.
The Domina ban kind of was just to limit the distance because we felt if we can have a tank that can just not play the distance against us, when we're gonna obviously also play that distance, then maybe something would help.
And it really did seem to help out there. And I think it was a really good ban as well, because from what we know about AHIX, they seem to like to play that Domina here a little bit, or at least their preferred hero. But you guys are now moving on to the next round of go up against Ray's team in Drop the Guns. Do you have anything to say to Ray about that?
I'm very excited. We've yet to play, and so
I know it's crazy to think, right?
Yeah,
Funny enough,
I'm-
the two teams we haven't played yet are your two teams right here.
I'm very excited to play. Seeing the record and seeing how well you guys have been doing throughout the season, just to see what we can do against it.
Yeah, I can't wait either. It's gonna be a fun one.
I'm hoping my team gets to play Drop the Guns, just because for some reason Ray doesn't want to play us. But Fresh, before I let you go, man, again, congratulations on the series victory and moving on to the next round. But I want to give you this opportunity to shout out anyone or anything you want, man.
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to my team. We've been doing really good this season, and I want to say Mr. Joker for MVP. That's my push. There is everyone vote for Mr. Joker MVP. He's the GOAT.
Hey, and after a performance tonight from Mr. Joker, there's an argument to be made. But again, Fresh, thank you so much for coming in to do this interview, man. Congratulations on the victory.
You.
We'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday night before you have to wake up tomorrow and go to some classes.
Exactly. Thank you. You guys have a good one.
You too. Ray, I mean, hey, it was a really good series here from Bowling Green State. They put on a performance here that I have to imagine you, especially watching that one, you learned a lot, but have some maybe concerns there about going up against them?
I think they're a really good team. Our team, I mean, we feel pretty confident. We've yet to drop a map in the regular season and playoffs so far, so we definitely feel confident with what we play in our compositions. But yeah, this team looked very good, so I can't wait to play them for the first time this coming week.
Hey, Ray, Pact, if Zebras lose, you guys have to lose in the winners final, so we have the chance to play you. But nah. But hey, they move on to play you guys. The other matchup going on tonight, if we can pull back up the Diamond tier bracket of Virtuous Pronouns Academy and Emerald Eagles. That one's going on right now. We'll know the result of that one by the end of the night, but
right now it's 2-0 VP. I've had one of their players has been Twitch streaming, so I've had it up on the side just to give score updates.
That's a fun game there, but I mean, with the loss here, you do see UTD drop right down to play Cuddle Puddle in that first bracket of the lower round. And if the result stays how it's going right now, it'll be VP versus Zebras in the winners round 2, while lower bracket round or game match 13 will be Emerald Eagles versus EIG Assassins, and those are some really good games, honestly.
Emerald Eagles versus EIG Assassins in the regular season was a 5-map gigabanger, so that would be very interesting to see that come to light again.
Yeah, and hey, you'll be able to see some of that action or potentially all of it next week if you just follow us here on Twitch. Because, hey, there'll be a lot of other playoff action going on outside of the Diamond tier that you will not want to miss. And, Ray, I mean, we've seen a lot of it already this week, both in North America and in the EU.
Yeah, so huge shout outs to everyone out there in chat. Huge shout outs to Rhino and Mochi from behind the scenes being able to do all the producing and observing that we couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for you. And thank you for joining me behind the scenes here at Casting Decks. And with that, we'll go ahead and close out the broadcast, and we'll see you guys in the subsequent days coming up with more CGL playoffs action. Thank you for watching.